right. Well, we're here today with Exile. I'm so excited because, of course, growing up, I Want to Kiss You All Over was blared out of my car radio all the time. Lots of good memories with that and a lot of your songs. But you guys have a new book out. 50 years. That's impossible. That just doesn't seem possible.
Yeah, we were 3 years old when. That's the real secret to it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Well, I know you guys did not write it.
No.
But I know you had a lot of input. Can you tell me some of the stories that came up and, anything that was hard to talk about or things that were exciting to talk about that maybe fans never knew about? Just kind of, elaborate a little bit and tell us what to expect.
Sure. Actually, the book, the author, Randy Westbrook, actually called me, and the initial idea, he's a music professor at Eastern Kentucky University. His initial idea was he was doing a thesis for his master's degree. So it didn't really start as a book. It just started as a project. He asked if he could, talk to me and the rest of the guys. This went on for, I guess, a year or so, talking to not only the five of us, but past band members and crew and everything. And at a certain point, he kind of approached us and said, well, I think I'd like to publish this as a book. So it was one of those things that didn't really start out as a book, but it morphed into that. And I'll have to say, I think all of us are pleased with the book. It's not an autobiography. We didn't write it, but it's a pretty truthful account of a band.
Right.
It could be any band.
Right. Right. And you guys have been, you started out the rock, the pop, then went into country, a lot of different band member changes throughout the year. Did you guys hold the record for the number of band member changes? That's a lot of people when you look back at all the names.
I think the Doobie Brothers hold that record.
I don't know.
But I'm sure that, all that came through the book. There's a lot of stuff like that. So.
Well, you were asking about some of the things that are difficult to talk about, difficult to read about, and for us it was member changes. If someone stepped up and said, I'm not inspired anymore, I'm going to leave, well then it's a matter of finding the right guy, which is it's a tough job. But when someone had to be removed, that's
even harder.
That's a horrible experience. It's like you're firing your brother.
Absolutely.
Literally, a family member. So it's a process. It has all that I've experienced took months. Should we do this? How are we going to do this? No, we shouldn't do it. Yes, we have to. And it's
like a divorce in the the family. It really is.
Very well put.
It is.
It
really is.
It is. And it's a cliche, but band, it is a family. Your brothers in music, and that can be good, that can be bad.
For me, asking Sonny to leave would be the easiest thing I've ever experienced.
We have
on camera.
I'm biting my tongue, there's so many things I could interject. No, I'm just kidding. Well, what was one of the things that you discovered in writing, well, not in writing, but in telling the story, that you kind of forgot about and you're like, oh my gosh, we should redo this, or we should try and reinvent this again, or do it over? Anything like that?
Wow. I can't recall anything.
Good question.
Exactly like that. Of course, reading about the beginning of the band and the early band members and stories about them in those days, it was a revelation, I think, to the three of us. Things we had no idea that had happened. So that was fun to read about, to catch up on the history in that regard. But I don't know that something was in the book that we would... Well, actually, I do, now that we're talking about it. There's a part of the book that talks about when Buddy Killen was our producer in country music. And in fact, we were touching on this earlier this morning, and the decision we made to let go of Buddy as our producer and to hire another producer, go with another. That was something in hindsight that we all agree was just foolish, stupid, dumb.
Huge mistake.
But it happened. It was the best intentions, but it didn't work out like we hoped it would.
To our credit, as an artist, you're vulnerable because you're, especially if you're successful at the time, and your day from the time you open your eyes until you close your eyes is jam-packed, and it's all about media and VIPs and music and rehearsals. So you rely on your manager to direct through the business maze. And our label was having problems with placing our singles at radio, and so they were starting to panic, and they wanted to point the finger somewhere, so they pointed it at Buddy. Then they got to our manager, and they worked on him long enough to where he began to believe in the same way. And then he came to us, and when our manager came to us, E.F. Hutton speaks,
Sure.
you listen. And so we made the decision based on that. Well, in retrospect, we had more hits with Buddy Killen than we have with any other producer we worked with, So that's why now we feel like it was a foolish move.
Yeah, I mean, I said earlier that the book is a history lesson. It's a cautionary tale, do's and don'ts. And if people, young artists, band members, are interested in reading a serious history lesson on what to do, what not to do, this book would be one to read.
Right.
I
I didn't know we were managed by E.F. Hutton. When did we sign with them?
Yeah.
That was those few years that you don't remember.
Oh, part of the decade that's a blur.
Yeah. I know you have a new project out.
Yeah.
We do.
Is Buddy involved?
Well, no. No, he's not. Our Buddy Killen passed away about...
Yeah.
I knew that, but I was
10
trying
years
to.
ago. Oh, I didn't want... Okay, maybe...
No, this is not. Yeah. No, but all right. To get to the new project.
Right.
Sorry.
We actually we do have a new project that we're very excited about. In the 50 plus years of the band's history, we never recorded a Christmas album, and for no particular reason, we just never got around to it. And so the last year, we've been working on a project which Sonny and JP just finished mixing last night,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact. So our first Christmas CD is done, being mastered, pressed, hopefully be out in a couple of weeks.
And it's titled...
It's titled, what is it titled, Steve?
Wrapped Up in Your Arms for Christmas.
Ah.
By E.F. Hutton. No, it's which is a title of a song that Sonny and JP wrote, a very cool song.
Cool.
There's some original stuff on it, and it kind of runs the gamut from Chuck Berry to Oh Holy Night. It's just a conglomeration of different kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, you answered one of my questions and asked if it was traditional country, Christmas, not country, or if it was stuff that you had written.
Yeah.
Are there any collaborations on the project?
No,
at all?
Not on this
Just you guys?
project,
No,
no.
Okay.
no.
Okay.
You meant like a duet, right?
Yeah,
Not collaborative
yeah.
writing,
Anything
yeah.
that you brought anybody else in on, or something that someone else
No,
had
none
written?
of
No,
this.
we in this case
Just
we
you
just
guys.
thought, let's just do what we do.
Mhm.
Maybe in the future we might do something with other artists.
Mhm. Are you going to go out and promote it as a Christmas show on the road and
Yes.
so
Yeah.
forth?
Yeah, we're doing that. In fact, we started that last year.
Okay.
And that was the deciding factor to finally record a Christmas album when we started opening that door. Exile plays a Christmas show,
Mhm.
and so with shows last year, we got shows on the books this year, and we're going to continue to grow that hopefully.
And one thing specifically, on December 17th, we're doing a album release benefit concert at the Franklin Theater, which those around Nashville know it's a great venue. It's one of the
Absolutely.
best places in the country to play. We actually did a album release last year there. And it's, as I say, to promote the album. Also, it's for a great animal rescue organization in town called SafePaw, SAFPAW. And we're all huge animal lovers, and we've been involved with them for a year or two. And again, we hope everyone comes out, help support us and SafePaw, as a matter of fact. So it's kind of a dual purpose show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will there be any of the animals there?
Well, Sonny,
Other than
you know that.
I walked right into that one, didn't I?
Yeah, if you can find it open, yeah. Probably not,
No.
frankly, just because of the noise involved.
It'd be a
Uh,
cool thing to do, though.
I mean, it would be wonderful if
Maybe,
we could.
pre-show have something out there where
Yeah,
they
you know,
can
that
do
would,
something.
it
Yeah.
would be cool. But
Yeah.
then just because of the environment,
Sure.
particularly rescue animals, they'd probably be scared.
Yeah.
But it would be cool if
Yeah.
we could have some of them there.
Yeah, it is very cool.
Uh,
Well, going back to the book a little bit,
Mhm.
are there things that you guys do different now than you did in the past? Things that you've learned from your own history and reading the book or anything like that that you're like, we don't do that?
Yeah, I'm sure all of us could speak to that, but at the end of the day, things happen the way they're supposed to. And I used to wonder sometimes, we weren't the Beatles. Well, why weren't we the Beatles? Did we shoot ourselves in the foot? Did we cause that? Or was it just not in the cards? And so now in retrospect, it just was what it was, and it is what it is.
The thing I regret, I guess, is that we didn't fire Steve sooner. So can we do this on camera right now? You're fired.
Yeah, see, now you've been
Get out. Get out of here.
You quit. You were fired. I guess I'm a solo act. Yeah, right. I think personally, one thing we've all learned. Well, one thing we've all learned is you have to have fun.
Oh yeah.
It's not brain surgery. It's the music business. I think we've learned over the years not to sweat the small stuff. Don't get caught up in all the little personal BS that destroys most groups. That's the one thing I think I learned, and kind of it reinforces it by reading the book.
Sure. How
There's
about
a lot
social
worse
media
jobs.
today? I mean, social media obviously was non-existent when you
It's a
first
damn good
started.
thing. It's a damn good thing it wasn't in
I
existence.
can't imagine the environment today, being young, being a hit act, and out there with everything that's going on, social media wise. I really can't imagine.
Everything you do, say, think, don't
Yeah.
say, don't think.
Yeah.
It's all out there.
Yeah.
Everything.
That's right.
We're very lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, but it also can be beneficial if
Oh,
applied
absolutely.
correctly.
It's-
So
yeah.
I mean, it's
Of
one of those
course.
things. We're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't.
Yeah.
We have to have it anymore.
course.
It's
Yeah.
expected.
I mean, we have a Facebook page, a website, and we actually try to utilize those as much as we
Oh
can.
yeah.
Yeah.
It, let's face it, for groups like us who don't have songs on the radio, the
Current
media,
songs,
current
yeah.
songs,
Sure.
Hello?
was that a thunderstorm? Or, the media makes a huge difference, and of course the internet and everything, because that's really how our music gets out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. What's the craziest or funny or maybe most touching thing that a fan has brought to you, whether it be through social media or live in person at a show or whatever? Any one moment that kind of stands out that when you
wow.
met them, you were just like, oh my God, I had no idea that
You-
I really touched them.
I'm not thinking of anything fan-wise, but the way we got back together again, this lineup, was we had a former tour manager and friend who was hurt badly in a motorcycle wreck. And Sonny called everyone and said, we need to go back home to Lexington, Kentucky and play a fundraiser for him. And so through the course of the rehearsals and then the show itself is when we decided we needed to continue on again. The magic was still there and we wanted to pick it up and run again. But that was, we raised an incredible amount of money for him that night. It was a 450-seat club, excuse me, but it was, tens of thousands of dollars that we were able to hand him at the end of the night. And that was just, I'll always remember that warmly. That was just a great night.
I think, one of the things that has been the most rewarding to me personally, I think to all of us really, is when you get into business and you start having hits and you're writing songs, you don't think about the impact that a song or your performance live can have on an audience member, somebody out there. And we have, through the years, we've come to realize that our songs have helped people in terms of crisis for them, when they were at a low point. That is the most amazing thing that happens with this thing for me, is to learn, somebody tells us, well, I was going through this and your song helped me get through it. That is an amazing experience, something that touches all of us so personally, and so deeply. And I'll tell you, there was a lady that had a Down syndrome child. His name was Benny. And I can remember being on stage and I would hear him out in the audience and he would yell, Sonny, and I'd say, Benny, and he would run up to the front of the stage, and to see just the sheer joy and love in this child's heart and eyes, just listening to the music, that is just one thing that I'll never forget. And again, to be able to touch people through music is a real gift,
Mhm.
and I hope we can keep doing it for as long as we can keep standing personally.
I think there's a lot of
Well
people
said.
that hope the same thing.
You know,
Well, thank you guys. Perfect timing. We'll wrap it up on that and
Once
get the
again,
book.
Kelly, perfect.
Kelly,
Yeah.
yeah, Kelly, she's got it down.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
All right, thanks.
All right,